January the 1st, 1982. Coast to Coast is born. We were to cover thousands of stories. Some made you laugh, some made you cry. We also reported 2 wars. Who would have thought early in 1982 that a huge task force would set sail from here for the Falkland Islands at such short notice? And then again, 10 years later, set sail for the Gulf War. Just 2 of the major stories that have happened in the South in an extraordinary period of change in the region. We start our unique record of the TVS years back in 1982 as that task force prepared for war.
HMS Invincible sails out of Portsmouth Harbour at the head of a naval task force prepared for a state of war. It's been this way for centuries as British fleets have left their home port to wage wars and fight battles. Today, England expects once more, as the biggest naval task force assembled since Suez, heads for the Falkland Islands.
But the British forces did have considerable casualties. 2 Portsmouth destroyers, HMS Sheffield and HMS Coventry, were lost. Many of those who died aboard the ships and during the battle for the islands left families in the south. Portsmouth was the scene for another historic event in 1982 with the raising of the Mary Rose from the Solent. Henry VIII's flagship sank in 1545 on her way to fight the French with a loss of up to 700 lives. The raising of the ship caused a few anxious moments and sent a royal pulse pounding.
It did leave a nasty feeling in the tummy, I can tell you. The important thing is to be British and not panic. So we didn't.
The Mary Rose was housed in a museum at Portsmouth, close to the final resting place of HMS Victory. An astonishing array of artefacts now fills the museum, all perfectly preserved in the Solent silt. Also in 1982, this garage was one of the first to chalk up the £2 gallon. Vietnamese boat people were allowed into the country and housed at a camp at Sopley in Hampshire. Many later settled in the south. Miss World contestants toured the region amid a row over their fur coats. The Greenham Common Peace Women prepared for a decade of protests at the American base in Berkshire. And these punks tried to shake off their rebellious image by growing veg for the elderly.
This tabletop grocery is a weekly event at the Pensioners' Luncheon Club, and it's obvious the Technicolor tearaways mix well with the blue rinse sets.
I think that's gorgeous. I think I'll have mine next time. All right.
Oh, they're very nice boys, though.
The fastest man on Earth in 1983, Project Thrust, built on the Isle of Wight, powered through the Nevada desert at an average speed of 633 miles an hour. At one point in the run, he touched 650 miles an hour.
At the end of the final timed run, the car must be driven twice within the hour. The atmosphere was crackling with excitement. Then came the official statement. Richard Noble had broken the land speed record. He was, for a few seconds, the proudest man alive. Just how does it feel to hold the world land speed record?
Well, I don't know yet. We've only had it a few minutes. But I just can't believe it, actually.
Can you try and explain to me, why did you do it in the first place?
Well, I suppose for Britain and for the hell of it.
This DeLorean model was on show in the South with its famous gull wings. It didn't have thrust speed, but the car did achieve time travel later in the Back to the Future films. Celebrities abounded in the South in 1983. George Best was back in training with Born